Imagine finding a ship drifting alone in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Its sails were still catching the wind. The captain's cabin looked perfectly normal. But there wasn't a single person on board. No captain, no crew, only silence. This was the mystery of the Mary Celeste. November 5th, 1872. New York Harbor was alive with ships preparing for another ordinary day at sea. Commanding the voyage was Captain Benjamin Briggs, an experienced sailor, respected for his calm judgment and unwavering discipline.
Come along,
Traveling
Sophia.
with him were his
Yes,
wife,
Mama.
Sarah,
Welcome
and their
aboard,
2-year-old
my
daughter,
dears.
Sophia, unaware that this journey would become part of history forever. Below deck, workers carefully loaded more than 1,700 barrels of industrial alcohol, the cargo destined for Genoa, Italy. Before setting sail, Captain Briggs made one final entry in the ship's log, another routine note before an ordinary voyage. With the cargo secured and the logbook complete, the order was finally given to raise the anchor. Slowly, the Mary Celeste slipped away from New York Harbor, beginning a voyage that would soon become one of history's greatest mysteries. For the next several days, the voyage continued peacefully across the vast Atlantic Ocean. Day after day, the crew followed their routine, unaware that history was quietly watching them. But as the days passed, the Atlantic slowly began to change. The skies grew darker, and the calm sea gave way to an uneasy silence. Captain Briggs carefully recorded the day's conditions in the logbook, never knowing it would become one of the ship's final entries. As the wind strengthened, the crew secured the ship, treating it as nothing more than another change in the weather. The sea grew rougher with every passing hour, but Captain Briggs remained confident the voyage was still under control. On November 25th, 1872, Captain Benjamin Briggs made what would become the Mary Celeste's final known logbook entry. Then, without warning, the historical record simply fell silent. On December 4th, 1872, another merchant ship spotted a lone vessel drifting across the Atlantic. As it drew closer, the crew of the Dei Gratia noticed something deeply unsettling. The ship drifted aimlessly, with no sign of life. Receiving no response, the captain ordered a boarding party to investigate the mysterious vessel. The sailors climbed aboard, expecting to find a crew in distress. Instead, they found a ship that looked strangely untouched. Captain Briggs's cabin remained orderly. His personal belongings were exactly where they should have been. Sarah Briggs's belongings were still neatly arranged, and little Sophia's toys lay undisturbed.
Everything is still in its place.
Below deck, the valuable cargo remained almost entirely untouched, making the mystery even harder to explain. Then they discovered something even more puzzling. The ship's lifeboat was missing. Captain Briggs, his family, and every member of the crew had vanished without a trace. No bodies were ever found. One theory suggested that pirates attacked the Mary Celeste, but investigators found almost no evidence to support it. But investigators found no signs of piracy. The valuable cargo remained untouched, and nothing of importance had been stolen. Another theory suggested that the crew turned against Captain Briggs, but the evidence tells a different story. Investigators found no signs of violence. There was no blood, no struggle, and nothing to suggest that the crew had turned against their captain. Another theory suggested that fumes from the cargo created fear of a massive explosion, forcing the crew to abandon the ship. Yet investigators found no signs of an explosion. The ship showed no major fire damage, and the cargo remained largely intact, leaving this theory unproven. Some researchers believe a sudden waterspout or violent sea event may have frightened Captain Briggs into ordering a temporary evacuation. But no evidence ever proved that a waterspout or sudden sea event forced the crew to abandon the Mary Celeste. Like every other theory, it remains only a possibility. More than 150 years later, no theory has fully explained what happened aboard the Mary Celeste. Its fate remains one of history's greatest unsolved mysteries. The Mary Celeste was never truly explained. Decade after decade, new theories emerged, but none solved the mystery. Even today, the Atlantic keeps its secret, and perhaps it always will. What do you think happened aboard the Mary Celeste?